Quran Unfolded.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. حاميم. تنزيل من الرحمن الرحيم. كتاب فصلت آياته قرآنا عربيا لقوم يعلمون.
Brothers and sisters, welcome again to Quran Unfolded, and we're going to continue talking about the signs of the Day of Judgment, minor signs and major signs. I think the last time we were basically talking about fitna and so forth. So again, we have Dr El Habbash, who's going to, inshallah, keep enlightening us. Bi-idhnillah, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan.
Because none of them will be indicative that the last hour will happen immediately after that.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is that they can repeat. For instance, the conquest of Jerusalem. It happened during the time of Umar. Then it was captured again by the Roman, by the Crusaders.
Yes.
Then freed again, conquered again by Salah ad-Din. Now it is a kind of taken by the Israelis, supported by the Zionists.
Yes.
And we believe that it will be conquered again by the Muslims. Inshallah. And it will be the base of the Khilafah of Islam. So the Khalifa of the Muslims will be stated in Jerusalem. The Prophet ﷺ told us that the Khilafah will come near the end of the time. And we believe that the Mahdi will be the Khalifa of the Muslims at that time. He will appear in Sham, and he will make Jerusalem as his capital of the Muslim nation, the Khilafah nation.
I mean, the Mahdi, I'm sure you'll go into that another time because a lot of people get confused and say, like, this is the Mahdi, this is the Mahdi. But I'm sure you'll go into that, inshallah.
No, that will come in detail.
That will come.
In fact, Mahdi himself, he will appear just before the first major sign.
Yes.
And he will live with the other events.
Yes.
Or that are considered of the major signs.
So Mahdi is like one of the minor signs?
So he is one of the minor signs, but
leading right to
he
the major.
will observe and he will live with the major signs.
Right.
For instance, the Messiah, Isa alayhi salam, is a major sign.
No.
But they will meet together.
SubhanAllah.
Mahdi and Isa alayhi salam, they will meet together. So just a kind of making separation. Mahdi will be before the major signs.
Yes.
So the first of the major signs is the appearance of Dajjal, which is the false Messiah.
Yes.
So the false Messiah is Dajjal. Isa alayhi salam is the proper.
Yes.
Isa alayhi salam will come back, and Mahdi all together will be at the same time.
Yes.
But they are coming in sequence. So we say these are minor signs. I mean, we just gave an example of Jerusalem, how it was taken by Muslim, then again taken by the Romans, and again, and so on. So that will continue until Jerusalem becomes the capital of the Muslim nation. We come to the other one, which is the increase of the wealth. Again, it's not just a matter of the wealth increasing in one time and that's it. It was increased during the time of Uthman, and it was increased even more during the time of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. They call him the fifth Khalifa, the fifth guided Khalifa. And it came exactly as the Prophet ﷺ prophesied. He prophesied that the wealth will be increased to the extent that most people are not in need. The wealthy man will try to give his zakat, he will not find a poor person to give him zakat. And that happened during the time of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. The wealth also will be increasing, as the previous hadith that I mentioned. You'll find the people who are naked, barefooted, poor, shepherd. You'll find them competing
with each
who
other.
will build the highest tower.
Actually, I was in Dubai just recently. It was just about 2 weeks ago, and you see that. I mean, like, you know, driving in the car and you're just looking up and you can't see the end. You can't see the top of these buildings. It's also
You don't know yourself. You're in New York City or, or the desert.
SubhanAllah, 60 years ago, like, it was just, as you say, like desert. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, sorry.
Then we come to fitna. By the way, fitna, we need to understand what's the meaning of fitna, because this is used a lot. Fitna in the Quran came and was mentioned. It was mentioned about driving somebody or forcing him to do something unwillingly, by force, to force him to do something. والفتنة أشد من القتل. Fitna, or
greater than slaughter, basically.
is greater than a murder.
To be killed, yeah.
Which is something has, I mean, in that context, has a lot of meaning, strength, which is something even more heavy, more difficult than killing.
SubhanAllah. Even, sorry, keep that train of thought, Dr. El Habbash. Just, watching the news, sometimes you see some people suffering in Palestine, in Gaza, and they say, I wish I'd have died, Yes. Basically, they're living what you just said. They're saying that I wish, death would have been much better for me than this life.
And in fact, this is one of the prophecies about the last hour. One of the signs of the last hour, that a person will be hoping to die.
Wow.
He will be coming to a grave and talking to the person in the grave. I wish if I am in your place.
Wow.
So this is kind of fitna as well. Why a person would do that? Because of the pressure, fitna. So fitna, one of the meaning is pressure, that you lose control. You cannot use your mind. You don't know what to do. So you are behaving just with pain, with emotion, and losing the control. The control can be lost by pressure, extreme pressure. It can be lost by temptation as well. So temptation is fitna.
No.
And we can see temptation now is happening, and coercion and forcing is also happening, and almost reaching every home, as the hadith says. How? It reaches every home. The satellites, the TV, everybody see all these things.
Mobile phones.
And all type of fitna is there. By force, you see people killed every day in masses, and nobody bothers. You will find the temptation as well, reaching to everybody at home. You go on the street, you find that temptation. You sit at home, you find the images coming to you live.
Yes.
So the temptation is one of the characteristics of, or one of the things, one of the elements of fitna.
No.
There's hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned about the fitna of women.
No.
And he said that near the end of the time, or one of the signs of the last hour, is that you will find the women who are not naked, they are dressed, but like naked.
Astaghfirullah.
Kasiyat ariyat. Clothed, but in a way that they are making more temptation than being naked.
Subhanallah. Astaghfirullah.
Ma'ilat mumilat, deviant, and they are seducing people as well. They are themselves.
Say that again, sorry.
Ma'ilat mumilat.
Okay.
Ma'ilat, deviant,
Yes.
from the straight path.
Yes.
And mumilat, They are attracting others.
Attracting others, yes.
By the way, attraction is also fitna. The charming or the beauty is also kind of fitna.
Yes.
It means something that will attract you, fitna. So this kind of women will appear, or now that you can say they are the common now. Most of the women مائلات مميلات كاسيات عاريات كأن رؤوسهن أسنمة البخت, as if they make their hair in some way like the hump of the camel. Yeah.
Is that, are we talking about like they're wearing hijab and then the hijab is like up?
Yeah. By any way they are making more attraction.
Yes, yes.
Although they are covering with hijab and they are inside the hijab, they are doing something. So that as if they are wearing nothing else, as if there's no hijab. They are wearing clothes, but as if they are not wearing clothes. And the Prophet ﷺ said that they will not even smell the scent of paradise, these women. Even the scent, the odor of paradise, they will not smell it. So this is about the fitna that will enter every home. Could be calamities, afflictions, controversies, confusion, attraction, seduction. All these types are fitna, influencing a person. One of the things that Prophet ﷺ prophesied also is that adultery will become regulated, will become legalized. And we see this is happening.
Are we talking about
prostitution?
Prostitution
Will become legalized.
And
it is, in fact.
Yes.
Many countries.
Yes.
So we come back, continue with the minor signs. In fact, the signs themselves, they have been collected by many people working, trying to collect what can be considered as a sign of the last hour. And they agree on 10 major signs. We'll talk them later. But the minor signs, some of them said it's about 500 signs. Some say around 100. But for us, we don't need to go in every sign. Just the what will remind us with the last hour. We just mentioned something that we can see and will remind us with the last hour. Now the signs, the minor signs, as I mentioned before, they can repeat. They come, they repeat again, and so on. Some of the signs are also appear together with some of the minor signs, will appear together with the major signs. A kind of more proof that these are major signs. Because the coming of Dajjal, for instance, will have some minor signs with him. The coming of Isa alayhi salam, there are some minor signs with him to prove that he is the real. Otherwise, people, how can they believe that he is Isa or not Isa?
Yes.
So there will be some other signs to prove that he is the one, and so on. So the minor signs can accompany major signs as well. So it is not a matter of chronology, closeness to the last hour, but it has different types of significance. As I mentioned before, there are signs during the time of Prophet ﷺ, because the main objective of mentioning these signs is to keep the people connected with the last hour. During the time of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, people need to be connected with the last hour. So he told them that the start of my mission is one of the signs. My death is one of the signs. There are signs that happened very close just after the death of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. This is to remind the people after Prophet Muhammad ﷺ that they are the signs that the Prophet ﷺ prophesied about the last hour. So people keep thinking about the last hour. And the same of some of these signs repeat again and again, so it will remind the people at different stages before the last hour that beware of the last hour, beware of the last hour. which is the most important thing. As the Prophet said, وَمَاذَا أَعْدَدْتَ لَهُ? What have you prepared for the last hour? So these are reminders to tell you, think about the last hour is coming. What have I prepared for it? Perhaps we can continue with some of the signs of the last hour. I mentioned the last one, is kind of peace agreement with the Roman.
Yes.
And they will break that agreement and fight the Muslim. In fact, that will happen not only once, it will repeat again and again. So that is happening. It happened during the Crusaders. They came, invaded Sham area, captured Jerusalem. They stayed there more than 100 years. Then Salah ad-Din conquered them. They came during the World War. They invaded most of the Muslim countries. Most of the Muslim countries were colonized, in fact,
yes.
by the Western powers. And now they are doing the same. So we are still in the weak place. We are suffering the consequences of being peaceful with the West, and they are coming, invading us at any opportunity they find. They will come and take whatever wealth we have, suppress us, and so on.
SubhanAllah. Is that where the hadith talks about the Muslim will be many?
Yeah, exactly. As the hadith said that, سوف تداعى عليكم الأمم كما تداعى الأكلة على قصعتها. قالوا أمن قلة نحن يومئذ يا رسول الله؟ قال بلى أنتم كثير ولكن كغثاء السيل. So this hadith means that the other nations will be inviting one another on you, like hungry people around a dish, big dish, inviting each other, take this piece and take that piece.
Like dividing the Muslim Ummah.
Dividing the Muslim Ummah and taking whatever resources they have. Then the people asked the Prophet ﷺ, is that because we are few in number? He said, no, you are too many at that time. But you have no weight like the foam of the sea. Like the foam of the sea. Like no weight.
Worth nothing, basically.
And in fact, this is the time of what we are, in fact, now. We have the wealth, we have everything, but we have no weight. We have the number, and we don't have the weight. So we don't have any influence in what's going in the world. One of the signs the Prophet ﷺ told us about it is the way we deal with our religion. In our religion, we have worship and we have ruling, law.
Sorry, we have
law.
Okay, yes.
The ruling, how to rule the people with justice. There are rules and laws. So the Prophet ﷺ told us, لَتَنْقُضُنَّ عُرَى الْإِسْلَامِ عُرْوَةً عُرْوَةً. You will break the knots of Islam one by one. He described Islam as different knots, and you cannot have a real Islam without having these knots all connected together.
Mm-hmm.
So he said that you will start knocking down or breaking these knots one by one. The first one you will break is the ruling according to the Sharia. You break this, the first one. Whenever one knot is broken or one chain is broken, the people will be holding the other ones until the other one is broken. So the first one will be broken is the Islamic Sharia. And the last one, the prayer. And we can see that there is no one country, Muslim country, applying the Sharia rule. They say in Saudi Arabia they do apply, but in some modified way.
Yes. Yes. Sorry, Dr. El Habbash. We're going to soon come to a close here. But just something came to mind. Like, I hear a lot, obviously, like, and I've been watching a lot of, like, talks about the signs. And one thing, like, I read before that one of the signs is that where rulers will be certain rulers who does not qualify to be rulers are given position to rule over the people. And I think, we're very much in that time now as well. But I don't hear that much when we talk about the signs. Is that one of the signs as well?
It is one of the signs, yes. Not only rulers, but in general, people will be handled, will be entrusted with the affairs of something they cannot handle. They will be given a trust that they cannot handle.
No.
So one of the companions asked the Prophet ﷺ about the last hour. He said that إذا ضيعت الأمانة فانتظر الساعة. If the trust was misappropriated, then wait for the last hour. So he said, how could the amana be misappropriated? He said, إذا وسد الأمر لغير أهله. If the matters are entrusted for people who are incapable of handling, then wait for the last hour. So this is the way the trust is misappropriated, by having people handling matters that they cannot handle.
Yes.
And we can see this happening, in fact.
100%, yes. Inshallah, Dr. El Habbash, we've come to the end now of our show. Jazakallah khairan for sharing such great knowledge with us. We're going to continue, obviously, with this in the next episode. And Jazakallah khairan to yourself, inshallah, for tuning into the show, Quran Unfolded. Don't forget again to press the subscribe button if you like what you hear. Until we see you again, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
كتاب فصلت آياته قرآنا عربيا لقوم يعلمون